hello. Let's do this. Oh, it's frustrating. Chrome, why have you done this? Let's switch to Firefox? I don't know. What do people do? Fine. Oh, our water's still there, so that's convenient. And then we need to do this. Nope. Okay, how's that? So, what have we here? I'm afraid of Extenbans. Okay, is everything recording? Appears to be okay. Okay. Extenbans are just the things where I love to forget things. But this means the first and last digit are the same, right? The ends, which are the same digit, right? Like that's a true statement, and this is different. So that's a true statement, and this sees both of those. That's a true statement. What are these? That's not the right colors. This computer has weird colors. That blue is not really the blue that I want. This is the blue that I want, but when I copy it, it seems like it doesn't work correctly. 12,0,179. 12,0,179. Is that right? I don't know. Okay, so what were we doing? This sees everything, right? This sees everybody, right? This, no, I've done something silly. Oops. This person does not see either of the blues. This person, okay, well maybe I need to start actually thinking a little bit. What do I need to do? Oh, this is also an oil and water puzzle, by the way. Oh, which is interesting. Interesting. Okay, I'm sure that's the whole point here. 5 to 29, 3 to 16, 16 and 18. 34 leaves 11 down here. And 23. Okay, I probably wasn't really supposed to color all these. That's just my instinct in an Extenban. What I probably really need to think about is other stuff. So 3 odd digits would be odd. So these are not 3 wets. And 3 even digits can only sum to 18. So there is a mixture of evens and odds here. So these people are wet, and this is oily. Yeah, this was probably senseless. This was just like instincts kicking in. So what this translates our wetness here, right? Like a wetness must, like some kind of communal wetness situation. This has to be wet. Oh yeah, we know anything at the bottom of 5 is wet. Always. Oh, that's not the end of that. This actually could all be even if that was there. So that's 2 odds and an even to be 20. That's 3 odds. This is even no matter what, because it's either 2 odds, it's 2 even. So this is even. I don't know if that really matters. Okay. Well, what else? So these people are the same. If this was wet, these would also be wet. If these were oily, this whole situation would be oily. If this was oily, this all becomes oily. And there's probably also like an alternating situation here too that we need to think about, like in the middle of a line, but I'm ignoring that for now. That puts oil down here. Which fully oilifies this, which puts oil in here. That doesn't seem possible necessarily, does it? It's a lot of oil in one place. Only up here, only this could be oily. These would all be wet. Wet would translate there, which makes sense. But if you try to make those all oily, you tried to make these all oily, you tried to put oil here. Those all become oily. The oil's translated down here and fills up. And the oil is translated to here, and that doesn't work. So that's a no. These can't be oily, because if these are oily, this is oily, which forces oil up here. That's if we try to make this oily. Then that's oily, this is oily, those are oily. These are both oily, and we have too many oilies in there. So these are wet, which wets this, which wets this. Which, well, these can't all be wet, right? Let me finish thinking about this. The wet goes here, but the wet does not force this. But in here, we already have 4 wets. We only have 1 more wet, which either needs to go here, and then all these are oily, or the wet are single wet. This is never wet, right? If this is wet, these must be wet, and that's a bad situation. So this is oily. These are not palindromes. If this is wet, then we have problems. So this is oily, which forces oiliness all the way up here, and forces oiliness. Gotta be careful about this. Forces oiliness here. I feel like I've already made a mistake. Oiliness here, which forces oiliness here. But this can't be oily, because then that would be oily and that would be too many. So this is wet. What is the deal with these folks? If this is wet, then this is wet. If this is oily, then this is oily. What do we know about this person? Wetness here. So these people are the same as this. But couldn't you be wet? If you're wet, then this is also wet. And the oily is just filling the blanks, I guess. I don't know. I mean, we're getting close to having all of our snake tips considered. We've almost fully considered our snake tips. Do I need to think about totals now? It doesn't feel like it. It feels like there's more to do here. You certainly aren't both wet, so one of these is definitely oily. Possibly both oily? What are you? That's all wet. Do we need to think about the... no, we don't have have any. Like if it was 3, an Extenban of length 3 would mean that the opposite polarity was in the middle. In this case, we have 1. That's the ends. But it's not necessarily like it doesn't necessarily bookend things. Like this 7 happens to surround 2 evens, but that's not, I don't think that's a requirement. This must be oily though, right? Because these are consecutive digits. Well, these are the same, and these are consecutive digits, so there must be an oily in the mix. Didn't we have another one of those? It was you. That this must be oily, because otherwise we would have. You can't have consecutive digits and have them all be odd. It would be odd to do that. Does mean that this is the opposite of whatever these are, this person. So that's true for a number of the S's. This one is, these will be the same. We already have 2 wets on here, which seems like a problem, because it's got to be a sequence of 4. I mean, if we ignore the end, there's a sequence of 4, and any sequence of 4 digits is going to have two evens and 2 odds. So we can't have any more. These are oily, right? They have to be. And that translates oiliness here. And what does that do? One of these must be wet. Perhaps both. You already have a oily. Excuse me. Do I need to think about numbers? What are these if you maximize them? Just mean like 5, 7, 9, that's 16, 21, so no. Although here, actually, this just is a 9, right? Because these, isn't that true that all of the even digits sum to 20? Because you have a 10 from the 8-2 and a 10 from the 6-4, so that will be 20. To be a 9, we'll place a 9 here. Which means the max here now is 3, 5, 7, which is 15. 15. So we need 2 digits summing to 8. If we didn't maximize it, if we minimized it, we'd have well, if we don't have a 7, then the total is 9. But that's still, that just means this needs to be 14, and that could be a 6-8, so I don't know. Anyway, this is one of each person. Oh, well, right, this is a sequence, by the way. So these are going to be 9, 8, 7, 6. Interesting. 9, 8, 7, 6 is going to be the makeup of this line, because there's 4 distinct digits on a 5-digit rim band. 9 is out of the picture. 7 is not even. So 7 gets placed here. And then these are the same. And this is the other person. Is there more to life than this? I mean, this is minimum 13, which would mean this needed to be a 10, which is fine. It could be 5, 3 to make 8, and then 2 or something. This is also going to end up down here in this 20 cage, though. This ends up in this 20 cage, right? I'm going to be a little thoughtful about this, because this is not, this is a maximum. These two digits are a maximum of 8, 9. So this is not a 1. So it's odd. And it must appear here. So it's not 7 or 9. And it can't be 1, because if this was 1, these two digits would have to sum to 18. If this is 3, this is definitely 9. This is definitely 8. If it's 5, this is 15. So it could be 8 with a 7 or 6 with a 9. So those are very similar numbers. What did I say? I said if it's a 3, it's 8 with 9, always, to make 17. If it's 5, we need to make 17. So the 8 could go with the 7, or the 9 could go with the 6. So we can end up with this situation. And then, so this is a 3 or 5. So we can't put a 9 here because we don't have the reach. We can't reach down low enough. Meaning, like, if this is 9, this has to be a 9, 8, 7, and this is not, doesn't work. So that puts the 7 here, which I think puts the 8 here, which I think puts the 5 here, which means we have to have a 6, the 5 goes here, and we have to bridge the 5 and 7 with a 6. This ends up being very low. This is only 2 or 4. Do I know something about who goes between whom here? I don't think I do. But this is a 1 or a 3. So this is 13 or 15. If it's 13, this is a 1, then this is a 10, which is very easy to do. If it's a 3, this is 15, and this has to sum to 8, which is also easy to do. So, never mind. 2, 4 here. Put some pressure on how large these could be. But it also puts a 2, 4 over here. So we know there's a 3 in here. No, that's not true. I'm sorry. We don't know that. Because this could be something like 4, 5, 6. Or can it? This can't be 6, this can't be 6. So there's no 6 on this line, right? So we're on the low end of the world. So, and we can't go above 6. So our whole little working world is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This digit's not 2 or... This digit's... Okay, gosh. This digit's not even, first of all, because we have all the evens in there. So this is an odd digit. It's not 7 because we can't make it there. No matter what. Like 4, 5, 6 would be the match, and we can't even have 6. So it's 3, 4, 5 or something like that. But this is the odd digit. It's not 5. So this is only 1 or 3. So this could be 2s with a 1 here and a 3 here. Or what is the nature of this digit? Could be a 2, 3, 4. This digit ends up here. Oh. There's no 2s here, right? sorry, there's no 4 here. This is everything but 4 sums to 16. So this is just 2. This is 2. This is 4. 2 means we need a little run here. That is 1, 2, 3. Or it's 2, 3, 4. The 2 is already on the line. 1, 2, 3, or 2, 3. So can that be a 4? I think it can be, because 4 is not in here. This is a 6, 8 pair. So is this. This is the other half of this 6, 8 pair. Maybe I should have kept some marks to remember that those people match. Maybe. Is this a 4? Nobody knows. 6 and 8. This 6, 8 pair is done. This 6, 8 pair is done. This 6 or 8. I'm sorry, that's not true. This is this 6 or 8, obviously. But this one is down here. So this 6 or 8, this half of the pair needs to end up here somewhere. But I don't know. I mean, I probably know. Okay, this is not even because I don't have enough even. So the 4 is not over here. These are wet. Where's the 4? If I tried to make this oily, then all these are oily, and that's no good. So this is wet. So it does put the 4 somewhere. The 2 is also up here. You're wet, so you are wet, so you are wet. And what else? The 2 down here, the 9 down here, the 7 over here, and the 5. One of you people, this digit lives down here. If this was oily, how would that work? I guess it can still be 4. And this 8 could end up here. Oh, right. Well, almost right. We said this person, sorry, this person. 2 is up here for sure. And then this is up here. This digit that's down here is up here. So there are, let me make sure I say this correctly. 2 is definitely up here. And this 6, 8 digit is definitely up here. So there are 2 oilies up here. Not 4 though. 4 is definitely there. I feel like that can go either way. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. I guess there's one of each. That's all of our oilies, so those are wet. This actually is all of our oilies. So these are wet. And then this is a either or. The 4. I feel like this should be going more smoothly, and I'm just being very, very slow. This person. Well, this obviously isn't oily, because we'd have 3 oilies. So this is definitely wet. I feel like there's some easy versions of that I'm just really missing. If the 4 was here, the 4 would be here. That seems to be okay with everybody. It'll make you oily as well. And this is the opposite. So in this case, this would be wet. Where is... or the other half of the 1-3 down here? I feel like I should know more about this. So the range here is, do we need to think about that? Like relatively narrow, but not super narrow. Like it's at 3. So it could be 2, 3, 4, or 4, 5, 6 is kind of the range. Well, no, the bounds are odd though. Or the duplicated digit is odd. Not the bounds. Pardon me, where's this? This digit is this digit. That means that, what does that mean? That means that this digit is either here or here, which is annoying. This is definitely not 6 or 8, so that's not the brother of that. Okay, this is just me making things needlessly complicated. We know some things. We know that 9's over here, so we know that 9 is up here. We know that that's not 9 because it would see this 9. This 9 would put a 9 over here, which at this moment is okay. Do I need to think about that, of visibility of known digits for ruling things out? Like knowing, for example, that this is not 7. I already knew that wasn't 7. Maybe that's not useful. That sounds cool, though. Sounds fun. But I don't know that I have enough digits to, like, really make that meaningful. Like 9... could be 9 anyway because of the 4. The digits this could be, the reach that this has is 4, 3, 2 or 4, 5, 6, right? So 3 and 5 are the only, that's as far as we can reach, I think. Because even though there's 4, it's really a triple. And then this is extends that range by 1, right? Because this could be 2, 3, 4, yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but not 4. We don't know the flavor profile. We do actually, kind of, well, if it's 2, 3, 4, that's odd. But couldn't it be 3, 4, 5? Sorry, it would be even. In that case, it would be odd. I don't know. I'm just making things complicated. You people, you're at 3 or 5. 9 is definitely over here. So this 8's up here. And maybe I need to think more about, well, we already kind of did, right? Our digits that have totals, we've exhausted those. We didn't finish this one. Is this one finishable? We know we have 12, which leads to 13 or 15, which is 8 or 10. 10 could go either way. The 8 is 6, 2 only, which would squish a 6 down here. The 2's go. I know this is just making me making things complicated. Do we need to think more about? I mean, there's probably just really obvious things I need to fill up that I'm not filling up, like coloring. Am I just completely not coloring things that need coloration? Oh, if this is a 9. then this is an 8, right? If I try to put a 9 here, this is an 8, and this is a 9, and this is a 7. But that actually works. If this is, it's like the extreme digits are better for this. I'm trying to put 8 here. I could have a 7, 9. So what are you? Surely we can figure this out. You're one or the other, and you're one or the other. Is that really a true statement about the world? Getting a 9 on a line is always a big deal, whether it's in the middle or not, right? So that's worth considering. Same with the 1. Like a 1 on here forces this. Forces the 3 here and the 4 here. I'm sorry. I feel like I had. Okay, we haven't thought about this at all, have we? Or not sufficiently. This is even. Good grief. It has an even total. So this is like this, and this is 4, because these 2 odd digits will sum to an even, and if this was odd, the total would be odd, which places our 4 here. That was right in front of my face. That is all of our friends there. And that oilifies all these friends. That is all of our friends there in terms of oil. We have to have a wet somewhere in this land. It's forbidden to not. The 4, we need a 4 here because 4 can't reappear on the Extenban. So that's exciting. And that's going to place a 4 down here. And we already knew about that 4. 4. What else we know about 4s? Nothing. This 18. This is 2 odd digits. Let's sum to 14, which is only 9, 5, I believe. And so this is 1, 3. I believe that to be true. That puts 5 here. What does that do with the 9? Well, we know where the 9 is. The 9 is here. And the 9 is here. If this was 9, we would have to have a 9 here, and an 8 here, and a 7 here, which at this moment seems possible. If it was 5, it must be next to somebody. If I put a 5 here, we have to be next to some. Can I have a 5 here without having an even digit that is adjacent to 5 is my question for you. That would put a 5 here and a 5 here. So what is this digit? Because it can't be 5, 6, 7, and it can't be 5, 4, 3. So I think this has to be 9. I think these are 9, and this is 5, and that, I believe, places the 8 here and a 7 here. Perhaps the digit that's next to the 4 that is odd, the 4's got to touch somebody on this line. The only odd digit is not 5, so that seems to be 3. Needs to push 3 over here. And this is 2, 3, 4, or it's 3, 4, 5. But this is even. So I believe that is 2. I think that gives us our 2 here. And so I think we have our little complement of 6 8s. Exciting. I'm sure I'm making these Extenban is harder than they need to be as well. So this is a low digit. Quite low. And it's even. So it could be 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. It's 1, 2, 3. Or it's 2, 3, 4, right? Those are our only options. So the odd digits can only be 1 or 3. And this mystery digit, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. I think that can be 1, 3, 4. Maybe. Maybe. Odd, sorry, 9's over here. 9. We don't know the. I keep wanting to say this is a 6-8 pair, but it's not. This is a 6-8 pair. These are the same digit. If this was 9, then those would be 8s. And then 7 would be here. Feels like we have a lot of 7s in the world. We do. Here's 7. Also feels like I probably made a mistake. Nine's got to go live in the sky over here. And I'm certain there's coloring that I have failed to do. Like here. So, does that place the 4? Or is that... This could still be the 4. The 6, 8 are not in here. 6, 8. Oh, we don't exactly know. This digit is this digit. This digit must appear in here, but could be here or here. So this is basically a 6, 8 pair. So this is not 6 or 8. So this is just 2 or 4. But I don't know. I do seem to need another fellow there. This feller is going to go here or here. I just had a dinner craving. But I don't know what it was for. It's just... Oh, good, great. Gosh, we got to just learn to do oil and water. Be helpful. Hopefully I didn't break anything. So you're not 5-7. You are just a 5-7 pair. So you're a part of a 1-3 pair. You're a part of a 2-4. 2-4 pair. You're the other half. This is 6-8. Okay. This is one of those times where I know there's like a smooth... There's obviously a smooth solve, but now we're just doing what we're doing now. I don't know, it's all. What can I say? So why am I so bad at Sudoku? This is the other half of that 6-8, which is exciting. So do we know some things now? I mean, obviously I know some things, and I'm just, or there are things I should know about these people. This just is the 5, right? Right? So it's not 2, 3, 4. It could be 3, 4, 5, or 4, 5, 6, right? Depending on the polarity there. 5 needs to make an appearance here. 5 needs to make an appearance up here, which it is. 5 needs to make an appearance here or here, making this a 5-9 pair, which is a double wet. Okay. What does that mean? That means that you have the 6-8 pair. You people. There's no 6-8 here. This is the other half of this is not here, so it must be here. Which wetifies you. Which seems to evenify you and land that on a 6 and that on a 2. Oilify, well, I should say. Oilify you. Did I make a mistake? I kind of feel like I made a mistake while I was blustering along. I probably could have filled that a really long time ago. Oh, I know I got places to fill, but I also have. So that does this, and that does this. And you already have 4. So that does this and does this. Which gives you your 4. It's very exciting. So this has 2 4, so these, it must be bridged by the 3. Do we decide about this 9? Maybe. Do we do everybody now? This is the 6. Oh, that's going to go all over the place, right? I got 6 8s at the wazoo. Satisfactory. Just need a 1 7 in here. Okay, and then what's going on with this person? That is in fact an 8. It's an 8 that does not touch other evens, so it must just be surrounded as a 7-9 pair, right? Is that true about this? It's got to be in the middle of this. So it actually goes not the way I thought it was, because the 7 sees this, and that wasn't a 9. Seems a 9 if I there. I probably still have odd and even digits on the wrong colors, but we'll just ignore that. 7, 5, 7 lands here, 1 lands here, 1, 7. What have we got? Your 2 4 pair. Oops. 1 and 3. Anybody see those? Yes, 3 seats here. 1 and 3 and 7 and 1 and 3. 2 4 needs a 3 in the middle. Also probably could have gotten that just by Sudoku. You seem to be the 9 that we've been so anxious to find, and a 1 and another 1. Well, that's fun. Definitely stumbled through it, but it was like, it was engaging all the way through, and most importantly, I didn't make any outrageously awful mistakes, which I've been doing a lot of lately. So my biggest problems were like stuff like this that should have been very obvious, where I was just trying to find the remainder and I had 2 odds and it obviously had to be an even. Like this I should have seen way earlier. This is maybe the thing that caused me the biggest delay, because I feel like that was available for a long time. I feel like I did okay on the other totals, I think. We got the other totals relatively smoothly. So I don't know. It was a somewhat clunky solve on my part, but we made it to the end, which is very exciting. So do I want to just jump right into another one? I kind of do because I think I saw that it was nights, and I just got a good feeling about it, and I'm going to regret this. Should I just jump into this? Apparently I am, instead of like eating food or drinking water or anything that like would be a good thing for the organism that I am. Okay. Let's just do it. We're going to do it. Let's do it. Okay, so we got all the things. It's all normal stuff except Knight's moves, which really seems like I'm going to screw this up. I'm going to forget it. But we got a lot of big cages, so maybe the first thing to do is just start coloring, and then maybe we will have some indications from totals based on their makeup and so on and so forth. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So all these people are wet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wet. 2, 3, 4, 5, wet. Oh, these boomerangs everywhere. Is that all of our 5s? Unclear. We do need a imbalance of odds in here to keep our overall oddliness. We do have to have... This would not work if these were all evens. The evens sum to 20, even ignoring that fact. So this is also wet. All of these, all odd digits sum to what? 25? All odd digits sum to 25. Well, we know this had 6, right? So we at least know that's true. But we can't have an even number of odd digits, because if we have an even number of odd digits, the result will be even and this will be bad. So this is also oily. These certainly can't both be. That's fine. These, what was I just saying? Like all odds sum to 25. So these are not all odd. We must have some evens in here. That's all our evens in this part of the world, which means that this must be odd. Something like that. This either has to be all evens or 2 evens and an odd. This must all be wet because it must be. This must be wet. This must be oily. No, I'm sorry. Did I just do that backwards? Sorry. This must be wet. I think I said wet and then put in oily. A ridiculous thing to do. These can't both be wet because that would be too many wets. So those are oily. Which means these are oily as well. This is a 20 cage. That's pressure, pure pressuring you. We can't only have one oily in here. They must both be in here. So that wetifies you. That oilifies you. That's interesting. And that wetifies you. You can't be oily. You can't be oily. Did I say you can't be oily? Gosh. I said you can't be oily and then I made it wet. I'm definitely, probably already made a mistake. You can't be oily because this would be too many oilies. You are wet. You must be wet. Well, no, now you don't because you're not broken. So sorry. It's only when the puzzle's broken that that's true. It's only true when the world is false. These can't be all evens because they would be 20 and that would be silly. This leaves that with the even total, which is reasonable for that land. We must have at least one odd in here. In these ones where the total is odd. That's just a property of the universe. This must not be oily because it would make all of these oily. It's wet. So this is wet. So there's at least one oily over here which doubles. It does both of them. This is oily, but that seems like that might be okay. We can't, these can't be oily because then this would be oily and that would be too many. So these are wet. I believe. I haven't even thought about Knight's moves. It hasn't even occurred to me. Not for 1 second. I forgot it was a Knight's move puzzle for a minute. This is an even total, so it must have more than one odd. This is an odd total, so it must have a imbalance of odds. This is an even total, so it can be anything. This has a balance. This. There's 3 evens that sum to 20. Sorry, I meant odds. Are there 3 odds that sum to 20? No, of course not, because if we did that, we'd have an imbalance. Why am I even questioning this? It's not up for discussion. We need 3 evens here. So no matter what, one is going to fall in here, and that means all of them fall in here. And that means you are oddly odd. That makes this a kind of annoying. I just have no evens. What's with all you people down here? I'm sure there's very obvious things to think about. Like this actually could be an odd person. These can't be odd. Okay, there's at least 2 oilies down here, right? Even though I put an oily up here, there's at least 2 oilies. So at least there's at least 2. And that means that one or the other is there. But if these are oily, then this is oily, and that's too many. So this is wet, and these are oily. I think. Well, in fact, these are just all oily. And you are an oily person. You are complete. Must be an oily in here. And an oily in here. You are finished with your oiliness, so you are wetness, and we must be even. If this, you must be an even person. I don't know why I didn't see that earlier. You're done. If we did that, could maybe possibly work. This is a funny one. That one of these is definitely a fella. Like one of these is gonna eat him up. And then only have one on top, which would mean that the other one is, it's kind of like this or the other way. Do I know that without thinking about numbers? Wait, what did I... Okay, sorry, I just scared myself for a second. Well, what do we do? What do we do here? How do we proceed? I want to finish my coloring before I really think about stuff. Because I just want to. But can I finish my coloring, or am I at an impasse? I mean, I recognize... No. If you're oily, right, if this is oily, and now we're in bad shape. So you're not oily. You are an oily person. You are wet. Which means you are an oily person. Which means you are wet. Which means, what does that mean? It means that you still require... No, I made a mistake. What did I do? No, that's okay, right? Is that okay? That's still... That works for the 25, as long as we have an imbalance. The 23... I don't know. This digit... This is a funny little party. We do end up with a 2 in the 29 cage that is not here. This is funny. Oh wait, I didn't finish coloring. Pardon me. How's that? Hopefully fine. So the 2... I only view people as the 2. That's only... Well, it's okay. Interesting. 2 is not... This isn't 2 because it's in the cage. C is this. So there's no 2 in this neighborhood. So 2 is there. So 2. 2's down here, but it's going to get seen by that fellow. I mean, this is a funny little arrangement of people. This means that 2 is down here. That's okay. Seems to place a 2 here. Seems to place a 2 here, not there. Place a 2 here, here. Am I supposed to be placing 2s? I don't know, but it's fun. Does that 2 land anywhere interesting? It means this sums to 20, so it's probably just 2 10s, right? Maybe it's not, but I want it to be. 2's there. That's not this digit. This digit is here. So I don't really know how I want to proceed with that. Really. This felt generous in terms of letting us have the 2. Maybe a 2. Where's 2 in here? Seems like it can be a lot of places. If it was here, it would see both of these, right? If we tried to put a 2 here, why did we decide this couldn't be a 2? Yeah, 2's down here. We put a 2 here. Why can't this be 2? Because this sees it. This is not 2. So 2 is in this neighborhood. Well, what does that mean? Probably some mathematics to consider. It does have a 2, so these fellows all sum to 18. Look, if there's somewhere that like a 1 is going to be forbidden or something like that. I mean, you can still get very high with just 2 odd digits. Even though it's 1, that's 7, 9. That's 17. It just seems very easy to escape. What am I failing to understand? Here's a 2 in this 20 cage. Is there a 2 in the 25 cage? That would mean that this needed to sum to 23. And that doesn't seem like a thing that is possible. If I had a 2 in here, then these people have to sum to 23? Can I do that? Three highest odd digits sum to 21. So I don't think so. I don't think I can have a 2 in here. I think 2's down here. So I think that's not a 2. So I think this is a 2. Which means there is definitely a 2 in this land. So even if this was, well, what would that mean? If this was 6, 8, that'd be 14, 15, 16. This would only have to be a 7. So this is a 7 or a 9, right? Because it just couldn't be smaller. I really don't know if this is the right way to think about this. Okay, the maximum of these 3 digits is 21, we said. Well, that just tells us 4, 5, 6, which we knew. 4, 6, 8, because it's not a 2, obviously. Anything else like that that's interesting? There's definitely a 2 in this 20 cage, but that, I'm afraid of that cage. Who is this? There is definitely no 1 in here, but it could be a, this is 2 digits that sum to 10, which is 7, 3, or 9, 1. So there's no 5 in here. So this could be 5 with a 7. This digit is larger than 2. Well, I feel like this is a clumsy way to do this, and there's a better thing that I'm not thinking about. Do I need to like mark some digits and like, just in terms of like the knight's move, like you could imagine it being restricted to the point that you could only, like this digit doesn't even have to look at these because it's already the opposite parity. I'm not being articulate here. Did I exhaust my 2 conclusions? I don't know. I kind of just don't know what to think about. If we maximize these digits, we know that is 21. And so these digits would have to sum to 8, which is not possible. So these are not maximized digits. This digit, though, is definitely in there. Whatever this large-ish digit is definitely in here. Right? That big fellow. This person is also not here. So it's the other half. Interesting. So this is a pair that has the other half of this, right? Because this is a 10, so it's got a 9, 3, or so there's no 9 or 7 in here. This is just 1, 3, 5. I don't know if anybody cares about that, but I kind of care about it. It doesn't mean the 5 is explicitly in here. That was just like a teeny tiny bit cool, but not actually very useful. It does mean this largest digit is in here. It does mean this largest digit is, it's in one of these two totals. The minimum here is 12. Right? If we minimize this, the minimum is 12, so this can't be more than 8. But if we try to have this large digit in here, 9 is bigger than 8, and 7, and maybe it could be a 7, 1. What a shocking state of affairs. We do know this digit. No, we don't. We don't know that at all. It's not a true statement. Wait, so I could have 7 in here with 1, and that would put, if we minimized this is 8, which could be 7, 1, or it could be 5, 3. If we minimize this. If we don't minimize this, even if we just have the 8 period, then it is 2, 4, 8, which is 14. And we would need 2 of these digits, so it'd have to be 9, 5, I guess. But if we didn't have the 4 in here, we'd have 2, 6, 8, which would be 16. And these would have to sum to 4, which could be 1, 3. Dang it, it all works. It all checks out. So that was a useless thing to consider. It's a little bit interesting. This is slightly interesting, like this, where this person lives. If this is a 9, well, are we saying 9's never in here? Because even minimized 9 was too big. So that does put 9 in here, right? Which is a pretty big number, as numbers go. If we maximize that, then the 4 is what's left over. 9 is definitely in there. So what? Maybe I wasn't ready for this puzzle. You can feel the blood sugar. So this, we already knew this wasn't a 2, right? If it was a 4, this would be a 9, 7. You know the 9's down here. That'll put the 9 there. Gosh, I'm sure there's an easier way to think about this. This is, yet again, on camera, and a little bit off camera, honestly. But definitely on camera. Oh, gosh. Very simple. It's very simple. We're not just if we don't just care about knights, we care about cages also. There are cages in this puzzle. This puzzle has cages in it that also sneak into other boxes. Okay, we got all our 2s. Very exciting. We're very excited about that. Now what do we do with this information? I don't know. It's funny, like we know this digit is this digit, right? Because it sees all those. And we know that this digit is this digit, right? And we know that digit's down here. And we know that digit is here or it's here. And we know that digit is here. So we know that digit's here, not here. We know that digit is here, so it's not there. So we know that digit is here or here. Oh, come on. Can we do better than that? We know that digit. Oh, come on. Sorry. Go to strange text. I felt like we were kind of on a roll there, and I lost my... Well, okay, right. This is definitely included because of this seeing there. So, but this little configuration, I don't think we know. Right? This, unfortunately, I think we just don't know that one yet. But these people are a different kind of oil. They're just like a oily yellow situation. Which means this person is here. Is here. You're not there, and you're not. So it's not there, it's not yellow, and it's not 2. So it's there, right? And so it's there. And so it's here or here. I don't know if this is the right way to do this. I mean, it's almost certainly not. It was certainly not the way to do this. So that gets us to there. But I like that. I mean, I like this kind of thing. I'm just making the puzzle more confusing for myself. But I think we get another like conundrum, right? Like we know these people are the same. This is gonna really screw me up with the coloring though, unfortunately. I should have actually marked those. My thought process was just like, oh, what if this made it very obvious that like a certain digit was both in a high total and a low total or something like that, right? There's not really any low total, so this was maybe just a very silly thing to do. But it was fun. But I don't know that this really helps me with anything, honestly. The thing that maybe is actually worth thinking about is this person. Because we just know a little bit about it, but not that much. Like we know this person is in here. This is not good. There's just too many places for this person to be. I don't know if I want to find out where the person is. Okay, well, was this coloration just a fool's errand that was slightly fun? Maybe that was it just feels like you want to do that though, you know? I just don't really see that. I'm failing to see the benefit of it. Like the lowest, like there'd be some, I mean, all we really know from this is there's no 1 in there. So probably I'm just supposed to be doing math and my brain just doesn't feel like it. Or are there like some multi-cage sums we could work out. You know, meaning like the thing where you say like, okay, this sums to 23. So these sum to 22 or whatever. Oh, that's not right at all. No, that was right. Sorry, that was right. Well, like where we know the sum because of the, but some of that stuff just doesn't seem to matter very much. I'm in that like mode where I just like self-doubt makes me think like the 22 here, these sum to 20. It really feels like it wants to just be two 10s, right? But it doesn't have to be, I don't think. This one's 18, so this one's asymmetrical. Could be like 8, 10 or whatever. What extraordinarily obvious concept am I missing? I think I'm going to remove the colors for now because they're incomplete. If it like fully panned out, it would have been cool, and maybe it can, but I just wasn't seeing the route. It's not immediately. That one we actually got fully, right? Is that correct? I think that one actually is true, I think. The one I didn't try before. This cannot be the way to do this. It's definitely not, but but I find it kind of interesting, which is lamentable. But isn't this where I ended up before? No, this is only there. But this kind of situation where it's just not, where there's ambiguity over here. I mean, like other than this little ambiguous corner, it's pretty good, right? Like, but maybe very silly. It just seems like it could be kind of cool. But we didn't get the full, I mean, I like this one. But that other fella just didn't work. Unless we can work it, like, I don't know how. I don't really see how you break the, like break out of this neighborhood. Just don't really see it. Okay, this is obviously not the way to do this, and I'm just wasting time. But I want to. I don't know why I feel so motivated to do that. And it's just like old Knights puzzles, just sticking with me. Anyway, the 5 is in here. 5 could still be the 7. I just feel like I know so little about odds. There's probably just really obvious sums that I am missing, right? There's a large odd digit in here, for sure. Like a digit that feels sort of interesting is like one that's alone somewhere. I'm sorry, I'm wasting time. Why? Does do you think about that in terms of the 12? And who goes with the 12? Am I on the wrong track thinking about evens? Probably. Three. 20, 21. Oh boy. I mean, these digits are these digits, right? Like that's a true statement. And like this digit is not this digit. But what does that mean? These digits, it means, okay, well, that's, I don't know if that's interesting at all. These digits sum to 10. And these digits are all the same 2 digits, right? That means this sums to 10. That means this sums to 11. So it's like 5, 6, or 4, 7, or 8, 3. But, so is there a version of that that's interesting and not lame like this one? Like that's sort of cool. What's the other boomerangs? These digits sum to 10. That means these digits sum to 33. And that means these digits sum to 12. That could still just be an 8, right? Could even be 9, 1, 2. Can't be 9, 1, 2, actually. There's no 9 here. Well, let's think about this for a second. Like, that's 10. With 33, I would need, if I tried to put 9 here, 9 would need 1 and 2, and it can't have that. So 9, and if 9 was in here, it would be 9, 1, 9, 1, 9, 1. Which, sure. Right, we said that. We said that the other, we did say that the other, it's a pair with this, where this is, it's just anything but 5. It means 5's not in here. It means 5's not in here. And it means 5's not in here. So that doesn't mean anything except that 5 is in here. I think it's the only, well, it means 5 is in here. Which I don't think actually means anything. But it's a 1937. There's a 1937 there. That's like one of the leftovers. This is 10. This is 11. Well, this sums to 11. That does mean this is never 9. That doesn't matter, but it is just a true statement. This sums to 11. So I'm sure this, Blobz, I'm sure you're looking at this losing your mind because this is, I'm being so silly in how I solve this puzzle, but I don't know what to do other than just like move in the direction I'm moving, and I'll just get there eventually. This can't be 9 because it would need a 2 to make the 11. So there's no 9 here. That doesn't mean very much because there could easily be a 9 a lot of other places. It means this pair, well, it means these pairs are the same, and it actually also means that pair exists here. So those sum to 10. So these digits sum to 10. These digits sum to 10, and these digits sum... These digits sum to 20. So these digits must sum to 15, which is not that hard. Where is this digit in here? There's probably more like blindingly obvious stuff like that too. Like where there's just a thing that's peeking in and needs to exist somewhere. Like these 3 digits, which sum to 15, are these 3 digits that must sum to 15. Oh boy, I just feel so off track. Did we know something about that in here? I don't think so. We know that we knew that these were 10. We know that that's 30. So these also sum to 15. That's just not very exciting, is it? What is the extraordinarily obvious, blindingly obvious thing I'm missing? I'm sure it's so simple. I'm sure it's so easy. And I'm just trying to make things 1,000 times more complicated than they're supposed to be. Like sometimes it's that thing where it's like, oh, I see, this set of these adds to this, and that same set of digits exists somewhere else. I just don't know if that's the kind of thinking I'm supposed to be exploring, where it's like, if you can say like, oh, these 3 digits are these 3 digits and the difference here, or whatever it is. I like this kind of. That's 32. So in this case, we need 3 digits summed to 13. Be like 913. Well, it has a 5. These digits. Well, no, it doesn't necessarily have to have a 5. These digits sum to 13. There may or may not be a 5. Sorry, these sum to 32. So the remaining the remaining complement is 13. So to be 157, I guess, if the 5 is on the outside. Why do I make things so hard? These digits are these digits, are these digits, are these digits. And they're not fully in here, so they do need to go vertically somewhere once they get over there. This digit is this digit. Because this digit sees all of these, so it must be here. This, right? This digit sees, this digit sees all of these, so it's vertical, so it's not this digit. So this digit is this digit. And this digit is this digit. And this digit is this digit. Is this digit. Right? Because this sees all the way there and that sees down there. This is not the way to do this. There's no way this is the way to do this. This digit does exist over here and it does exist over here. And what else does it do? It lives up here somewhere. It's in here somewhere. This is not useful. This is not useful thinking. There's probably some really obvious simple sum that I'm just like that is so silly and so simple. This I'm preemptively embarrassed, Blobz, for when you tell me what is the super simple thing I missed. Or maybe I made a mistake. You'd think with all these twos somewhere I would know something. I know that this is 10. That feels like it wants to be important. You know that this is not 9. But this could be 9 with the 1. This, I think, can still be 9-3, or 9 could just be hanging out here like a weirdo. Like a cool dude. That would mean it was nowhere. You almost know. Like this, that little boomerang is helpful. The other boomerangs are less helpful because they change, like change from even to odd. So this can't be this hard. It really can't. I don't know why I'm making this so difficult. Like, what is the sum of these that... Can we give my 2s another color, just so I'll make them like brick. Bricky. Just because, like, this digit is not in this 29 configuration. But this is where they just break down here, which is frustrating. Just that one little region just doesn't untangle. These people are all the same digit. But I guess in this case, if I do this, then it really is true to say that this is a orange-red pair, right? Got weird colors going on now. I don't know if that actually helped me in any way. The thing I wanted to know, which seems to not be true, unless it is somewhere. Like, you know, it would have been interesting to know if this configuration was this configuration. It appears not to be. Like if there was a trifecta that existed in two places, it would be kind of interesting. But two, 6, 8, 16, 4, but that's just 1, 3. That's doable, right? We talked about that. So I just don't know that I see the benefit of what I have done. Like brick, yellow, orange. Brick, yellow, orange does exist in both of these. Like it is the same little triple, right? And in one case, it is part of a 22. And in one case, it is part of a 29. So they're the same. It means the difference between these digits and these digits is 7? Like if we subtracted this from both of these, whatever that number is, these will be 7 higher than these. I'm sure it's going to be so funny to learn what ridiculously simple, obvious thing. Like, I mean, maybe there's something to that. I am noticing stuff like this is this. But, so what? You know, stuff like this where this doesn't exist in here, but there's no totals associated with that. This, I mean, what would be funny is if these, I mean, these are obviously all 4 different digits, and there's got to be a difference of 7. This little situation is 7 more than this little situation, I guess is what I'm claiming, if my coloring's right, which it may be completely wrong. Brick. Yeah, the brick yellow red situation does not really exist anywhere else. Oh my gosh, I've made this puzzle so hard. You know, I think another thing too, that when I'm not solving on stream is like, I can solve for a while and then like go get a drink of water or go for a walk or whatever and like come back with a fresh mind. And I think that helps me. That may actually be the biggest difference. This digit this whole the sum of all of these and the sum of these is only 2 apart. Because these sum to 20 minus something, and these sum to 22 minus that same thing. Which is a little interesting. It means these 2 digits That's not a sum. What do we do? It's also, it's not true that these are these. I was thinking in terms of evens, so I think that was false. Well, everybody, it's almost 9 o'clock. Why did I do this? Is there anything to this idea? This like shared party? Let's just say this is minimized. 2, 4, 6. If this is minimized, it's 2, 4, 6. So that would mean this is a 10. And that would mean this is a 17. let's say it was maximized. So it was 268 would mean that this is a 16. Well, it means that if I made this 268, that would be 16. This would be 4. And this would have to be 4 plus 7. Which seems okay. We just need to be 11. Like 731 or something. I don't know. It seems possible. What did I say it was the first time? Sorry, I said it was, if this was 246. If it was just 246, it'd be 12. This would have to be 10. This would have to be 17, which would be like 179. That was 246. And I guess just for completeness, if it was 248, it would be 14. And that would have to be 8. So this would have to be 15. So it could be like 159. Yeah, whatever. This is silly. This is not the way to think about this. Like, you can see why doesn't it almost feel like it's a good idea? Doesn't it almost seem like it makes sense? Almost? A little? No? 2 red orange with the 23. What digit can't be in here? What? If this was, why did I not, we ruled something out. Why did we rule it out? Do we rule something out here? Why does this only have one option instead of 3 options? If this was 246, it would be 12. So we would need, wait, I'm sorry. If this was 246, it would be 12, so this would have to be 11. So that's not valid. This is not 246. But does that tell us anything about this? I don't think it does. That's just the one combination that isn't there, but there's not like a consistent leftover. That almost feels useful. But I feel like just because it can't be 246, could it still be 248? Or 2? Does that mean there's always an 8 in here? It does mean that. That means there's always an 8 in here. That means yellow is not 8. What a tremendous thing we've learned today. That's our conclusion, is that yellow is only 4 or 6, not 8. But it doesn't matter, because I feel like all of our sums, anywhere that yellow is meaningful, it's paired with a buddy. Doesn't mean there's an 8 in here. That's kind of funny. I mean, but it doesn't matter, because we could still have the 8 here. Did we learn anything from that? 8, this is 13. So it's not exciting. But is there something else like this where we can like rule somebody else out of somewhere? Like this feels like so extraordinarily not the way to do this puzzle. Like to an incredible degree. I'm probably just supposed to be thinking of I'm probably supposed to be thinking of knight's moves. To put like this digit here. I don't know. I mean, you know, that's so often the thing is like, with a puzzle with cages and knights, especially a Blobz puzzle with cages and knights, is like you got some little feller that needs to like peek around like a little weirdo. In a little bend, in a little nook and or cranny. Like this digit ends up here, right? That kind of thing. This digit ends up there. And here. And here. And not there, but also not here. Here. And here. And here. And not here. So high or low. So in the middle here. What does that mean? We do better than that. Like in terms, is there some like inner cage? Maybe not. Almost looks like here. No, maybe we cannot do better than that. Seems hard to believe. That does mean, okay. Okay. I don't know if this is good, but it's something. This digit definitely is here, right? Because it sees those and it's not in the cage there. So then the question is, where is this digit that's not anywhere here? Let me think about this for a second. This digit, we already gave this digit to here, right? Like that digit, we already have awarded it because it sees all of these and it sees these. It's got to be here. And so this digit has to be here or here. This isn't actually useful. For a second, I thought it was useful. I mean, this digit is here or here. If it was here, that would be amazing, because then it would do that, and we'd have some more insight into what's going on in the upper world. Maybe not amazing, but like an improvement over knowing nothing. these digits definitely go there, right? So these two digits are definitely these two digits. This digit, if it went that way, isn't in here because these two digits are in here. So it goes there. So am I saying this digit is always here? But it just almost gives us some insight, but not quite. Like, I think I am saying this digit is here and this digit is here, but that's just related to this being true, right? Like, where's this digit? That must be this person. Because we're saying for sure that this digit is not in there. So these two digits are here. So they need to occupy this digit. Why can't this digit be here? Maybe it can. This digit here or here? Oh, I thought I had something, but maybe it was all wrong. We know about this situation. So I got 3 digits to deal with. This digit is definitely up here, but these 2 digits can be there or there. This digit is definitely up here, but we don't know which friend from downstairs that digit is, unfortunately. This digit... That's so lame. We know one of these positions, right? Okay, so maybe that was... This digit, we kind of were... I mean, we got somewhere with this digit, but just not enough. Because it can be here or here, I'm pretty sure. Okay, maybe that was the wrong digit to be excited about. What a sad story. I just wish I knew something about this digit. The one digit I feel like we know the slightest bit about in the odd world. Five situation. Oh, Blobz. I'm sorry. Really. Very clumsy. I know it's not hard. It's just one of those things where I know it's not hard and I'm just missing whatever the thing is. This even can have a 1 in it, right? Seven, 8, 9, and that could have a 1. This definitely doesn't have a 9. 2, 4, 6. You're different than this. And this just doesn't mean anything. Wow, I haven't felt this like completely off track on a puzzle in a minute. It was very embarrassing. Is there some other like astoundingly obvious reach? This doesn't feel meaningful. I mean, sometimes you get those real nice spots where somebody looks deep into a row or whatever. I'm just not seeing things. This is so embarrassing. I mean, maybe the like peeking around is just, it doesn't feel very potent in this puzzle, but maybe it's because the puzzle is already so divided. Did I forget something? That would be funny. Did I forget some rule? Don't repeat in cages. You must sum to the clue. Chess knights don't contain the same digit. I've probably forgotten some like incredibly basic fundamental rule, and that will be so sad, but kind of funny. I have 7 and 9 in there? 7 and 9 is 16. Yeah, you could have 5, 7, 9 with the 4. Why do these just not seem restricted? We know there's no 2 in there. Not meaningful. If this was 2, 4, 6, if this was only 2, 4, 6, it's 12. And these must then be 17, right? That's not hard. It's close. It's not even that close. Just 179. Do you have to have a 9 in here? Is that something meaningful? I kind of don't think you do. Because if this is 2, 6, 8, that's already 16. You just need 13. 1, 3, 7. Oh no, Blobz. Why? Why so bad at this puzzle? Having a red and an orange together with the total would be a little bit interesting because that would force an 8 inside of somewhere, but I don't see that anywhere. I mean, other than here, obviously. So the minimum of 3 odd digits is 9. But no one cares about that. Like, we can say things like this isn't minimized, but who cares? What extraordinarily obvious thing am I missing? I'm sure it's so obvious. It's funny about, I was thinking about fist smell, fell a little bit to think about this. these people. Which I'm sure is not the right thing, but I just want to finish the puzzle at this point. So we have only one rust in a corner, which checks out. We need 2 oranges in a corner, which we have, but maybe 3. Like this, unfortunately, is the counterpart of this, which is obvious if you think about it for a second. So, I mean, whatever. We could try. Do we try to colorize these people? It just doesn't. I don't think it's going to be. It's not like we could fully do it the other way, but I just don't think it's going to be very smooth. Wait, this does see these. And it sees this one too, doesn't it? This digit sees this and sees this. So this digit is here. Maybe I knew that earlier. It just didn't mean very much. But it seems that it does put that digit in here, right? Okay, let's just think about you people. I just don't think we get very far with this. Maybe we do. This digit sees across there, it sees up there. Is it all about this digit? Is this the magic digit? That does put a 1, 3, 5 here. And it does see across here and here. So it does get placed there. So that's part of the 11. So it's not a 1, right? Didn't we say this was an 11 because this is a 10? And if we put a 1 here, this had to be a 10. So that digit's not a 1. That digit needs to exist here or here. That digit needs to exist here or here, but not here, which means it needs to exist here. So this is a digit, it's in both of these cages. So that does do a 1, 3, 5 here, but it's not 1, right? Because we've said that this is 10, and that 10 is this really right? I don't remember why I said this now. This digit, yeah, these digits are here, they're here. That is 10. This is 10. So this is 11. So it's not 1. There's no 1 in there. So it's 3 or 5. And that means a couple things. It means that if this is 3, this is 8. And if this is 5, this is 6. So that means that red is not 4. Red is only 6 or 8. And it means also that this is not 5 because it can't sum with this. So, oops. It means that this is 5. So it means these are 3. Does it mean that? Oops. Is that what that means? Which makes red becomes 8. That means this is 9. What do we think about this? It could all be wrong. Every bit of this could be wrong. This is a 10 that is not 9, 1, or 7, 3, so I broke the puzzle. Because all I have in here is 1, 7. 1 plus 2 plus 7. Which is only 10. What did I do wrong? It felt like we had some insight, and then it felt like the insight went away. Because I said I couldn't have a 5 here, because I said that these were the right digits, which I'm not even sure if that's true. But that made this a 3. But if that was a 3, like we expressly can't do that, right? Because it doesn't, this has to sum to 10. Did I not follow the green? Maybe I just didn't follow the greens correctly, which would be sad. This digit must appear here. This digit must appear here. Must appear here. This digit, maybe this is where I screwed up. I like put it up here or something. This digit must appear here or here. This digit must appear here or here. Maybe that's what I screwed up. It did put it in here. It's not here. It is here. Maybe this is backwards. Maybe that's where I screwed up. But I do think this is true. This one, maybe not so much. Let's think about it. This digit, not there. Well, but if it's here, it is here. And it is here. And it's not here. It's not there. So it is here. I mean, the problem is, if 5 can't go in here. One can't go in here. Like from that perspective, actually, like in saying where ones can go, like one can't go in here. And one can't go in here. If one's in here, it's got to be with a 9. I'm saying this is 1, 3, 5. Maybe that was wrong, though. I mean, I think these digits are these digits, but is it not right to say it's 1, 3, 5? I think that is actually wrong. Well, no, because I need a high digit up here. Because I need to make the 10. So it's the 10 and it's the 5's down here and it's the other half of the low digit if this is the 7, 9. But maybe that was wrong. I don't think it was. Maybe I've been so wrong for so long that it's just useless and I should just stop this and start over. I mean, it might be one of those situations where I did something really wrong a long time ago and it's just making everything worse. But like, how can I even do this now? Because why did I say that couldn't be 7? I said that couldn't be 7 because if this was 7, then this would be 9. And then how would I make 10 here? But maybe that was just wrong. Maybe the 2's are wrong and this has been wrong the whole time, which would be very funny. But do I want to check this button and see that my 2's are wrong? Oh boy. Let me think about this for 1 second and then we'll do that. And if the 2's are wrong, I'm just going to stop tonight and I will retry. That would be so sad, but it kind of feels true. I mean, this digit is here or here. Oh no. But like the idea that this is 1, 3, 5. And I convinced myself that this was 10. Because I said that this was definitely this, which meant it was definitely this. I've convinced myself that this was 10, which convinced myself that this was 11. Why couldn't this be 5, 6? Because I said the 5. Maybe these 5s were wrong because 5 actually could have been here. 5 couldn't be here. I think these 5s were not. I think that was nonsense, actually. I mean, it's true that 5's here, but why couldn't the 5 just be here? I think I didn't notice that or something. So 1, I think we did kind of like the idea that 1s couldn't be in here because of the 11 situation. And then 3, 5 meant 9 or 7 here, right? To make the 12. And this meant 5 plus 6 to make 11, or 3 plus 8 to make 11. Like that's a thing. We know the other brother of this is in here, so this is not 7 or 9, right? This is just 1, 3, or 5. But how do we move forward here? The 6 or 8 was like very slightly interesting, but this to be a 10. The 5 was wrong. Because if I put 5 here, in fact, doesn't that break everything? Because 5 ends up here. So 3 ends up here. And 3 ends up here with the 9. So I have 3, 9, and I can no longer, I have the 7, 1. So 5 definitely can't be there. 5 is in fact forbidden from being there. And 5 is also not in here. So that means these are 5s? 5, 7, the 3, 9, 1. I think that's what that means. How did I make this puzzle so hard? I mean, that's still assuming I don't have some like outrageous error and that all of this is wrong, which is still very possible feeling. So that's exciting. 5 is going to place the 7, which means this is a 1, 9 pair, which places this 3, which also places the 7 down here, which means this is a 9, right? Which means this needs to be a 14. So this is an 8, 6. And that means yellow is 4. Wonder what the right way to do this puzzle is, because this is definitely not the right way to do this puzzle. Or maybe maybe it is the right logic, and I just, or like, you know, vaguely in the right area, and I just failed to see the simple version of it. Okay. So this is an 11. So this is the 6. So reds, bloody reds are 6, and oranges are 8s. I hope. You are an 8. You must sum to 12, and you have a 5 in you. So this is a 5-7 pair. This is a 1-9 pair. The 7, this does, the 9, right. This is 1-9, and this is 1-9. So this is 3. This is 3. This is 7. I really hope this is right. This is 1-3-9. It kind of has that feeling of a puzzle that you like overanalyze and overanalyze and overanalyze, but then you've kind of thought through all possibilities, basically. So this now is what? This now is 19. This must sum to 10. Okay. This now is 14. This must sum to 8. There's no 9 in there. Could be 7-1. So it puts the 9 down here, which places 9 here, 1 here. The 1 is here. Oops. You have a 9. Do we know what you are yet? Somehow we do not. We seeming this looks to be a 5-9 pair. So we do have 14. So these must sum to 11. So right, this is 14. So these must sum to 11, but we can't have 6 because we already used the 5. So this is 8. So this is 6, and this is 6, and this is 8. So those finally come unraveled. And now we have 17 and 22, and this needs to be a 3. So we end up with a 1-7 pair here, and the 1 sees that, and that will see this 1, and that will place a 7 here seemingly, and a 3 here seemingly, and that's exciting. The 3 doesn't work yet. I mean, it's in here, right? Not quite good enough. Okay, do you actually sum? Hey, where's that thing that does the, I used to use this all the time. Now I never use it. I just want to like, real quick check here. Real quick check. Okay. This person, what did we say? Well, this is just a 1-7, right? This is, because this is 14. This needs to be 8, and it's only 1-7. Do we see a 7 anywhere? Not yet. 1-9. I feel like I gotta have like some repetition in cages or something. So is that all of our sums? You are a, well, you're 3, and you are a 9, and you're the other half of a 1-7 pair. 7, 1, 9, 1, 3, 9, 1, 9, 9, 1. Seven, 9, but who sees what? Nothing? And 1, 3. Anybody? Okay. 1, 3. This is just 3. This is just 7. Which gives us the 5 and the 7 and untangles it. It would be so sad if this was wrong. It'd be kind of funny. Okay, it's right. So what is it that finally got it for me? It was this digit, right? It was following once the grid was all laid out, even aside from the other thinking that I did. Got a lot of pencil marks or whatever, but or it actually didn't have that many. We knew where 2s were. And then we did have this 7, 9 here figured out. And we did know that 8 was in here. Like, I don't know if those things were even important, but finding this situation with the 5s, I think is kind of what broke it open. Well, at the time it was 1, 3, 5, but it ruled out the 5s and it became 3, 5. And I think that was kind of, we got this as a high side digit and whatever. So was that the key that I was just missing? I was looking at all of the even digits when I should have been paying attention to that. Or I'm sure there was something easier. I'm positive there was. I'm sorry about that, but I have to go eat dinner. Oh. Wait, I'm back. Okay, now I'm leaving. Goodbye.